Hi world, it's about 10 past 11 in the morning on Saturday the 2nd of December 2023. So this video is about December and it's a bit of a breakdown of what's coming up over the coming month, planet by planet, with a summary at the end. Although, to be honest, it's not looking that bad compared to recent months. Of course, certain politicians will squirm. Of course, the wars that are endemic around the world will continue. But there's only, astrologically speaking, one difficult time over this coming month, and that is a short, sharp, like a pimple on top of a boil. And I'll come to that at the end of this video. But first of all, let's look at what's not happening. Uranus is continuing to go retrograde through Taurus. It's going to stand still at the end of January. Those people who have been hit by Uranus over this last 10 months are still going to be here over the next few months. That's not changing. Pluto is moving forward now. Pluto starts the month at 28 degrees of Capricorn and ends the month at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And in January of next year, Pluto will move into Aquarius. And then next year, he will retrograde back into Capricorn a little bit. But basically, Pluto moving into Aquarius is imminent. Imminent. But neither Uranus nor Pluto are making big waves over this coming month. Neptune is about to stand still and stop going retrograde. This will happen on the, Neptune will stop going retrograde on the 6th of December, around about 10 a.m. UK time. Now, this is going to particularly impact on those people born around the 14th, 15th, 16th, of March, June, September and December. These are the people who have had a great deal of fatigue, confusion, tiredness and weariness over this last year. And now we're just beginning to start seeing the very first signs of this beginning to come to an end, at least for most of these people. Still a couple of months to go, but just beginning to change from thick fog into not so thick fog. And this will get easier and easier as we get into the end of the year, and particularly next year. Saturn is now just beginning to pick up speed. Still visible in the evening sky through looking southwest, just after sunset. And that's if you're in the northern hemisphere, obviously. Northwest if you're in the southern hemisphere. Quite visible, quite a nice sight still, beginning to fade in view, Saturn is particularly impacting on the lives of those people born around, the start of Pisces, so around the 19th, 20th, 21st of February, and then around the 20th, 21st of May, the 20th, 21st of August, more like the 22nd, 23rd of August, and then the 22nd, 23rd of November. But Saturn is passing. It's clearing. So a lot of these people are going to end the year by feeling like their backbones are straighter, their shoulders are lower, their foreheads are higher. The pressure, the gravity is beginning to decrease. Jupiter is still retrograde, although Jupiter will stop going retrograde on December the 31st. This is impacting everybody born in the first week of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, but not in a big way. Nothing to write home about. The new moon on December the 12th at 11:30 p.m. UK time in Sagittarius at nearly 21 degrees of Sagittarius. Yes, it is in conjunct Uranus. But that's about all that it's doing. And so I don't see that new moon on the 12th of December as particularly relevant. And the full moon on the 27th of December at 12:30 hours UK time at 5 degrees of Cancer. That's pretty good. It's sextiling Jupiter very strongly, trining Saturn as well. So I suggest that full moon on the 27th, 26th, 27th of December, depending which time zone in the world you're in, is a good time for people born in the first week of Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, Aries, especially Cancer, Capricorn, to close down and finalise existing business and financial deals, and perhaps throw fishing lines into the future as well. But now we get to the fine-tuning. Venus is going to spend almost a whole month in Scorpio. Venus will move into Scorpio on the 4th of December and leave Scorpio and move into Sagittarius on the 29th. Not really a big deal. Venus doesn't like being in Scorpio that much in a personal chart, but by transit, it's going to continue to be a very bright star to the southeast in the northern hemisphere and the northeast in the southern hemisphere around about an hour or two before sunset, and it's a really pretty thing to be seeing. There will be the once every year winter solstice, summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, and that will happen when the sun leaves Sagittarius and moves into Capricorn. And this year this will take place at 3:28 a.m. UK time on Friday the 22nd of December. So those of you who want to go to stone circles, burial mounds, ancient sites, antiquities, that's your time. The dawn of Friday the 22nd of September if you're in the Western world. But this brings me to what's really coming up. There's one big bogeyman in December. Mercury's going retrograde soon. We're already in Mercury retrograde shadow. Mercury will go retrograde on the 13th of December, about 7 a.m. We are already in the Mercury retrograde shadow, and it will go retrograde between the areas of 8 degrees of Capricorn through to 22 degrees of Sagittarius. This is not going to be a major influence on the world at large. It's going to be a classic Mercury retrograde for a lot of people, though, post will get delayed, emails won't happen, phone calls will get missed, normal Mercury retrograde stuff. But for those people born in the last week of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, or the first week of Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, Aries, don't go making major changes of plan. Don't change course between now and mid-January, because things will not work out the way you expect, and if you do make changes, they'll probably work out worse than they currently are. So stick to your path if you're one of these people over this next 6 weeks. Mars spends the entire month in Sagittarius. Great, I love people with Mars in Sagittarius. They're bouncy, fun, optimistic and humorous. But for a few days over the festive period, there's going to be a retrograde Mercury conjunct Mars, and this is going to happen between 22 and 25 degrees of Sagittarius over the period of the 27th, 28th, 29th of December. And so you have a retrograde, you have Mercury and Mars together. This happens on average once every 21 months, something like that. So nearly once every 2 years. So it's not a big deal. The fact that Mercury's retrograde makes it a little bit more exclusive. Mercury conjunct Mars in Sagittarius, that should be quite friendly. Problem is, it's very strongly square Neptune. And this is all going to suddenly come in around about the 25th, 26th, 27th of December, and then it's going to evaporate by the 28th, 29th, 30th of December. But that crunch period of the 27th to the 29th of December, Mercury conjunct Mars giving a forceful, direct, possibly acerbic, not subtle, tactful or diplomatic, communicative energy in a way that is going to be yes, no, black, white, square Neptune. There's going to be a lot of misunderstanding, confusion, but I thought she meant, or I thought he said. And there's going to be a lot of potential deception, gullibility, confusion, neuroses, So for most people, please be careful over that period, 27, 28, 29 December. It's messy. And it could be one of those trigger points for the year. Something's going to suddenly, that's why I call it the pimple on top of the boil. It's not like a big boil that just comes up and then goes down. It's the zit on top of the boil. It's going to suddenly reach a point where it will then just explode. And Neptune deals with the invisible world, the poisons, the toxins, the viruses. And square Mars and Mercury, this is gonna poison the communication. So there's going to be a lot of BS around that time. So don't believe everything you're being told at that time, and don't believe the narrative and the rhetoric that appears to be being presented in the world at that time. Make your own minds up. And that, my friends, is the beauty of astrology. Because the surge of astrology, of which I'm going to be doing a hell of a lot more on as we get towards the new year, the surge in the understanding, appreciation and rapport with astrology over recent years is a direct challenge to all of those large big groups, whether they are corporates, governments, religions, who want to keep the majority of people dumbed down. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's not based on any one particular group. It's just that for the first time in thousands of years, humans have the ability now to strike their own relationship with the divine, to think for themselves, to make informed choices, and astrology is in the forefront of this. Long may it reign. This is why I'm teaching my students now how to read their own charts and how to help other people read their charts. Again, much more on that as we get into the month. Meantime, it's a generally stable month. Just be careful in that last 3 or 4 days of the month. Catch you later, world. Bye.